Hello and welcome back to Switch and Lever. As this channel has been growing steadily for the last few years, there are some questions which are being asked time and time again. So I thought it would be about time for our top 10 questions asked. So let's dive right into it with the most commonly asked question. Get out of here! Shoo! Shoo! Away with you! Huh. Sorry about that. So yes, I'm Swedish. Next question. Well, I think that's a really great excuse for not really doing anything. In reality, most tools can be replaced with other tools, and all power tools can definitely be replaced with hand tools. Power tools, they don't really enable you to do anything magical, but they do in most cases enable you to do it a bit quicker. If you're still hell-bent on using tools that you don't personally own, there are still several different routes to go buy it, without, having to go buy it. At the very least, there are maker spaces, tech shops, fab labs, or whatever they're called, scattered all around. And for a small monthly fee, you can get access to their machine park, which in most cases are far more stocked than what you would find in a regular basement workshop. Otherwise, you can always befriend people who have workshops. You can go to community colleges or schools, or even check out other companies which may allow you to use their workshop. But again, most importantly, the tool does not make the project. Use your ingenuity, use the vast resources of YouTube and Google, and find alternative routes to reach your goal. I don't know. Try it. What's the worst that could happen? You really get experience about what works and what doesn't through failure, not by worrying about doing things correctly to the point of not even starting your project. Failure is really one of the most important things in a workshop, and I know it sounds a bit counterintuitive, but it is what you learn the most from, and it teaches you how to rescue your projects when you make that inevitable mistake. I cannot even begin to mention how many of my projects took an unexpected turn halfway through the project simply because some part failed. Failure is really not the end, it's just one part of the process moving forward. Safety third, at least when it comes to safety gear. In my book, there are two far more important things, and that's focus on what you're doing, as well as knowledge about the machine that you're working with. All you really need is a moment of lapsed focus and you could lose a hand, or you could do blatantly dangerous things simply because you don't understand your machine. Safety gear, it is important, I'm not trying to discourage it, but no amount of safeguards could really prevent someone that's unfocused and has limited knowledge of what they're doing from hurting themselves. In terms of focus, I think basically hell could open up behind you and you should still have the focus to turn off your machine safely before turning around and seeing what happened. In most cases, no. The time, the energy and the material cost that goes into what I make would make most things ridiculously expensive, even without considering making a profit from one-off things. And I have really no plans of going into serial production as of now. However, speaking about plans, there are some plans in motion about making some small items for sale through the Switch and Lever online store, as well as more in-depth written instructions to go with most of my videos. So really, keep watching this space. You could indeed, but where is the fun in that? In most cases, you're just going to end up with a cheap product that's low quality that you have really no personal attachment to. I'm a huge opponent of the use and throw away mentality that's become so common around the world, and it's really a cause of a lot of our environmental pollution. Besides that, there is again the joy of making something with your own two hands. The process of making is in many cases much more interesting than the final product. So why would I want to replace that with just a box shipped in from China or anywhere else in the world? I very rarely take commissions, so the answer is most probably no. Most of what I make is for myself, to fill a need or to teach myself something new, or simply as gifts for family and friends. Still, feel free to reach out. You never know if this may change in the future, but right now, don't get your hopes up. Whatever software does the job, really. The reason I almost never mention software in my videos is because there are so many different software packages out there that really does the same job. For instance, for CAD I use mainly SolidWorks, but I'm also teaching myself Autodesk Fusion 360 because of its handy CAM integration. But I also use Rhino, I have used Heidlas, and the list goes on. I also use a lot of other 3D softwares for visualization purposes. Video and audio editing is mainly done through software from Adobe, but again, there are a lot of other softwares out there that does the same job, so I don't want to put preferential treatment to one package over another. Obviously, I'm not going to start listing them because that would make for a really long and really boring video. It is listed in the description. I only use Creative Commons music or music already placed in the public domain. Probably because you were acting way out of line. Abusive comments go down the drain directly, and so does comments with a lot of profanities, sexual content, hate speech, misogyny or racism. I'm really trying to promote an open and welcoming environment in my comment field. So if you came here thinking that it's like much of the rest of YouTube, I'm afraid you're sorely mistaken. And this brings me to my final point of this video: trolls. I really hope you enjoyed this frequently asked questions video. If you want to think of more questions to ask, why don't you check out some of the other videos from Switch and Lever. Also remember to follow on Instagram for more regular updates. Hey Ma, I'm on the YouTubes!